Continuing our reading in Ragweed and Poppy by Avi. This time it's chapter 30, How Ragweed Rescued Poppy. Standing among low bushes at the edge of the meadow, Ragweed kept his eyes fixed on the blue car. When nothing else happened, when Lotar did not reappear, he turned to Basil. Cool! Looks like that dippy raccoon is going to stay in the car. What about Poppy? Asked Basil. Right, said Ragweed. Like, we need to get over to the trap and check in with her. At least we can tell her, we're here. Cheer her up. Then we'll figure out what we have to do to get her out. You good with that? Sure. Let's go. When Basil informed the other mice what he and Ragweed were doing, the 7 mice were happy to sit down near the snakeskin and rest under a bush. Leaving them, Ragweed and Basil crept out from the protection of the grasses. Even as they did, they saw 3 humans appear. The smallest one was holding something in her hands. Ragweed and Basil halted immediately, squatted down, and watched what the people were doing. Ragweed groaned. Bummer, he said to Basil. Those people have the trap. The one Poppy is in? It looks that way. Ragweed stared. The people had been moving fast, but Ragweed was sure he had seen something in the trap that certainly appeared almost the same color and size as Poppy, curled up in a corner. Yup, said Ragweed. She's still in there. Why are they moving her? No idea. The 2 mice watched as the humans marched round to the back of the log house. Then they saw the smallest of the 3 people, the one who was holding the trap, bend over and place the trap in almost the exact spot it had been before. When the trap had been put down, one of the humans said, Now, Susan, you have to be patient and leave it alone. If she does come back, which I doubt, it will take a while. Ragweed and Basil continued to watch as the 3 humans returned to the house. All was quiet. Nothing moved. Have any idea, whispered Basil, what they were trying to do with Poppy? Ragweed shook his head. After some more intense watching, Ragweed turned to Basil and said, I think the thing is, she's still in the trap. I'm sure she is. And it looks like the people are going to leave her alone. Is she still alive? I sure hope so. For a moment, the 2 mice continued to stare. What are we supposed to do? Asked Basil. Since she's still in there, said Ragweed, it doesn't change anything. Like, I need to get over and talk to her, make sure she's all right. Least I can do is, tell her we're here. Might make her feel better, but with all those people around, maybe it'll be safer if I go alone. You head on back and stay with the others. Keep them calm and out of sight. Another thing, be ready to put that snake skin back on in case either of those raccoons comes back. Can you handle that? I think so, said Basil, and he scurried back to where the other mice were waiting. Left alone, Ragweed studied the scene. There was still no movement from the car. He was sure Lotar was still inside it. Good, stay there. As for the humans, he had seen them go back into the house and not come out. Good there, too. Ragweed turned back toward the trap. Nothing had moved. Total nothing, Ragweed told himself. No one to bother me, people or raccoons, which means I'm safe, which also means I need to move. You've taken enough time. Go rescue Poppy. He took a few steps toward the trap, paused, peered around again, but saw nothing to alarm him. There's absolutely no danger, he scolded himself. He took a deep breath, tensed his leg muscles, and said, Go, and dashed forward. But as Ragweed approached the trap, he slowed down and then stopped. He stared hard. Was she in there? There was absolutely something or someone tucked into the far corner of that trap, precisely at the place where he had told Poppy to hide. Cool, he said. It's got to be her. Good thing I'm here to save her. But then, once again, Ragweed hesitated. He sniffed. Something did not smell right. He looked again, like How come, she's not moving? Is that her? The more he stared, the less sure he was. But it has to be Poppy, he told himself. Hey, Poppy girl, he called. You asleep? No response. What's going on? Maybe shutting her eyes isn't the only trick. Shutting her eyes and ears might be. He inched closer. Poppy, he called again louder. It's me, Ragweed, back from Grey House with your cousin Basil, with a whole bunch of your family. Hey, I'm about to get you free. When there was still no reply, Ragweed inched closer to the trap. Then he realized that the one end of the trap was open. Now, wait a minute. How did that happen? He decided it didn't matter how it happened. The important thing was that the trap was open, which meant Poppy could get out if she noticed, if she was awake. Poppy, Ragweed called in an even louder voice. Wake up! The trap door is open. You can get free. He saw no movement. Ragweed kept staring. Does Poppy, he thought, even know the trap is open? Maybe she's managed to lift that end and was so exhausted by the effort she fainted. Or maybe she's asleep, which means she isn't too smart. After all, Ragweed reminded himself, she did tell me she had wandered into the trap with her eyes closed. Maybe I have to tell her the trap is open. He looked back. He could see Basil watching him from within the grasses. He was surrounded by all the other mice peeking out and gazing at him intently. Ragweed had to smile. He loved the notion that they were all watching him. I'll show them what a mouse can do, he thought. Right, a mouse has to do what a mouse has to do. Cool, I'll be a hero. Here I go. He gave his friends a casual wave as if he wasn't excited. Then he edged forward until he was facing the open end of the trap. Poppy, he yelled as loud as he dared. No reply. Do it, Ragweed said to himself. Show everybody how brave you are. Time to save Poppy. For a second, he paused to touch his dangling bead earring and was reassured that it was there. All good, he told himself. Go! With that, Ragweed shot forward, plunging headlong into the trap, aiming right where he was sure Poppy lay asleep. He was so eager to reach her, he didn't look where he was going. Halfway in, he tripped on a metal plate, banging a knee. Next instant, there was an enormous crashing sound as the trap door came down behind him. It shook the whole cage. Ragweed, intent on reaching Poppy, paid no mind but rushed on. Only when he reached her, or what he had thought was her, did he realize it was not Poppy. Bummer, it's not her. Some dumb food. Oh, something's wrong. A bolt of panic shot through him. Yo, dude, get out of here. Whirling around, Ragweed tore back toward the entryway, only to come to a fast halt. He stood there, stunned, staring, trying to grasp the situation. The flap was shut, which meant that he was caught in the trap. Dude, Ragweed sighed, you are in trouble. That's the end of chapter 30.